This is Snakes and Otters, a pointless discussion of eternal questions. Get ready. We're about to live in your head rent-free.
Welcome, Otterites, to Studio A.
I am Martin.
And I'm Robert.
I'm Andre.
And I'm Marcus.
Today we are welcoming we're doing a code of honor. We're 2 members short of the brotherhood, but they're with us in spirit.
The Pope called, so Francis had to run out and take care of some ecclesiastical business, and Cajun's still becalmed.
I think he's the Pope's Uber driver.
That's probably
Something like that.
Yeah.
or donuts.
It's a little bit late for donuts in Italy. He's probably delivering dinner.
Late cappuccino.
Tortellini.
Well,
No, cappuccino is never afternoon in Italy
Oh, okay.
because
okay.
it has milk.
Oh, that's the price.
No,
I thought it was got caffeine.
Well, but when would they have espresso then? They would have espresso.
Espresso is good for any time of the day.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
you just never include milk in your coffee after noon.
That's weird.
I don't know. It's
Is
Italy.
because like they don't have
Well,
refrigerators because they're
it's-
still in the 18th century and they don't know how to
Well,
keep
you know.
anything
No,
cold.
only barbarians drink milk after noon.
Well, that or, it gives them the shits like Martin.
Well, that's true. We have to.
So I mean,
Anyways,
a college student eating fruity pebbles for dinner
all right.
before studying for finals.
What we really need to find out from Francis when he comes back for the next episode is how good does the Pope tip? I mean, is it cash or is it an indulgence?
I'm sure it's a lot like the Dalai Lama.
Yeah. He just gives you
There'll be no
advice.
money, but on your deathbed, you'll receive
Yeah.
eternal consciousness.
Well,
So he'll have that going for him.
Well, I mean,
That's nothing to sneeze at.
and this one takes the vow of poverty rather seriously.
I don't think
Less so than Francis, I think, because I think he
Yeah.
moved back into the papal apartments, which honestly I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did take a vow of poverty since he is a religious order priest.
Well,
Yeah.
He's
okay.
an Augustinian.
Okay. Well, poverty is relative. It is.
When you don't have to pay for anything, it doesn't matter if you're poor.
Exactly.
The good news is he's friends with Father Guillermo, the one who does the raves. So he's throwing just hella parties.
I think you need to provide proof on that one.
Yeah, because
Oh, no.
there's been history of hella parties in the Vatican, which we shall not
Oh, yeah.
mention here.
It is good to mention Alexander the Sixth as
These are
often as
legit
possible,
parties.
because Alexander the Sixth, well, categorically speaking, is the worst pope in history. Is also he did not teach error or promote heresy, so he is a fine pope in that sense.
He didn't promote heresy, but he committed heresy.
No, he committed sin.
Okay.
There is a difference.
Yeah.
Not all sins are heretical.
Hookers
you could make
in
that.
the Vatican.
That's
borderline.
It's
sacrilegious.
It's sinful.
Sinful. But to be heresy, it's something you have to, an obstinate denial.
A wrong teaching.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's, Padre Guilherme. He's Portuguese priest and DJ.
DJ.
The last rave that he did was November 8th in 2025 outside St. Elizabeth's Cathedral in Slovakia, which featured his techno music, the lasers, and a video message from the Pope just for that rave.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy's been doing. They know each other from South America.
Well, I mean, it's meeting the people where
It
they
is.
are.
It is.
It's
Exactly.
meeting your flock where they are.
And these raves are all Catholic based. They're all around Catholicism and all the
Historically,
things
when
of
we've had Catholic
Catholicism.
raves, people get nervous.
Yeah.
So you have the ecstasy of the Holy Spirit rather than pharmaceutical ecstasy.
Exactly.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Good one. Good one.
Yes.
Very nice.
From the heathen.
This is probably how your son got hooked.
Well,
Does he listen to our podcast over in the land of the rising sun?
I wish he would. But he does send greetings. I forgot to mention to Francis, he does send greetings, and he holds the deacons in very high esteem, and he appreciates
Well,
your
we've got him fooled.
communications.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you. Well,
So,
you know, I was saying it. Well, you were puttering about in the kitchen. That you know, I forget exactly how I put it to Francis, but yeah, I feel like sometimes you must feel like you need to go to confession just to wipe the ick off of yourself from having hung around with us all day.
Yeah. hmm
And I'll just consider who Jesus hung out with, and I'm okay.
By the way, your light is on, your flashlight.
Well, I'm a light to the world.
Well,
Yes.
that's fine, but it's shining right in my eyes.
He's
So,
being blinded.
Yes.
esteemed
by the
brother
goodness light.
Andre, you are captain
Yes.
today.
Hold on, but so Francis is Ubering the Pope's dinner,
Yes.
and Cajun is still in becalmed waters
still
with the
becalmed.
Pirate Queen.
Yes.
In the trade winds.
Yes.
Yeah,
So he's
it's-
waiting for the albatross to fly.
Either that or
away.
he's iced over.
Yeah, I was going to say it's become because it's frozen, like the Ohio River. Have you
Yeah.
passed over that thing lately?
No.
It's a tremendous amount of ice. So,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to freeze over enough so some idiot walks out there and goes through. And
Well, since it's going to be up in the 50s in a few days, it will
Yeah,
happen, I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are hitting the warming trend, and all this horrible snow is going to go away. And
78 people were They were hundreds of people
they were
walking.
driving
across it.
cars across the
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah.
and it was frozen
It
solid.
was frozen
then.
solid.
Yeah.
'Cause that was serious deep freeze time.
Mhm.
Yep.
So what are we doing, Maine?
Anyway, I've been wrestling with turmoil in my personal life, and I chose a
Oh,
quote,
no.
just on not to bring politics into it,
Ah,
but in the current political state, there's some
Mhm.
diversion.
zeitgeist angst.
Exactly.
Well,
And so
Yeah.
I've been debating with a few quotes back and forth, and
You know, when I have angst, I just listen to '90s music.
I listen to 80s music.
when I think
I
90s,
listened to
there's-
70s.
in 90s, everything to me was country. And so 90s country would be where I would go. Instead, you would probably go to 90s rock.
Well, but there's something to be said for some Shania.
You know, just listen.
Feel
to
like a
some-
woman.
Some Anais Morissette or what is that? Is that her name?
Alanis Morissette.
Alanis
Yeah.
Morissette.
The
Yeah,
horse lady.
yeah. Alanis Morissette, and just
Now, I got to say, the commercial she's in for Sirius
Mhm.
is hilarious.
Is it?
Oh my god! So they do the thing as if all of the people who are on the shows live in one big house,
Ah.
and they're doing dinner. And one of the guys, they're talking about stuff, and they're giving her grief. And one of them says, "Come on, Alanis, you want to know?" Very funny, Jeff, or whatever the guy's name is.
I can tell that I'm getting older because some of those commercials that they've been doing, the celebrities that are featured, I have no clue who they are.
Well, but usually they're older celebrities. That's why I'm kind of surprised you don't know who they are.
Well, that and like I believe it was Martin who posted about in our group chat about the stuff that was the music that was being played.
Oh my God, that just is so depressing when I
know.
go into Kroger's and wherever, and they're playing
So,
my music.
yeah,
Bangers.
yeah. So in the Kroger, the music, I think the first one was
Till Tuesday.
"Till Tuesday,"
Tuesday.
which I love that song. Amy Mann
Voices
and
Carry.
Voices Carry,
Yeah.
and then "Bow Wow Wow, I Want Candy."
Oh my gosh, the good version
The
of
real
I
one,
Want Candy.
Annabelle Lewin. Oh man, it's like wow, that goes back because that's like '81.
Yeah, the fact that alternative music is being played as Muzak is just so wrong on so many levels.
So, I mean,
That
my,
just
means
my
you're getting
Kroger
old.
was jamming that day.
I'll grant you, I love that,
Mm-hmm.
but still,
They
it's
program
just-
to the people who have the money.
Well, I get. Well, that's not Gen X.
I mean, Gen X grocery shoppers. Well, we're there, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
got our
You
tunes
got
going.
more money than Gen Z.
Well, that doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this. This
Hey,
is
we're
a
doing Code of Honor, right?
code of honor.
He's-
Code of honor.
You're dealing with some angst and some turmoil
Mhm.
through the quote rather than
Yeah, and it's a very
Taking
rather
to
than,
the streets.
rather than '90s music like me.
Yeah.
It is
All
a
right.
very, very simple quote. It has been stated many different ways, but it's from Martin Luther King
Mhm.
Jr., and it says, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy."
Mhm.
Love it.
It is an extremely simple quote. Again, like many of the things that Jesus Christ teaches us, it's very easy to hear. but very, very hard to live out.
Hmm.
Well, no, it's easy to live out. It's hard to live up to be consistent both in good times and bad.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
this brings back a memory to me that Brother Robert was with me through when my wife was in a coma and she had died twice,
Hmm.
and she's laying in a coma for 13 days, and I had a commitment at church. No one would have had a problem with me shrugging that off and staying by her bedside. But I went and did my commitment that I had given to.
Hmm.
And the director of worship at our church looked at me and said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Because when my word has meaning, only in good times it has no meaning. It has no value." So I showed up at a very pivotal time in my life to do something I said I would do.
Hmm.
That was also a church thing, though,
Yes.
which I think to me is much easier to not justify, but to show up for, because when we, especially as deacons, anybody who's been ordained will know this, and those of you that hang out with us should know this, because we haven't said it often enough. That's on us. Ministry is one of the ways in which Christ channels grace to His people. What most people don't realize is that grace goes both ways. The minister
Hmm.
is ministered to, as well as does the ministering.
Hmm.
In true ministry, you get as much as you give on both sides of
Yeah.
you're
Yes.
receiving or giving.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yes, you channeled the flock's strength to yourself.
Or they did it, however you want to put
Right,
yeah.
right,
yeah.
right.
It
But
is a,
you
and that's not why you did it.
you
Yeah.
drew
But-
strength from ministering to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's different than saying, gonna go hang out at the arcade and play some Pac-Man. A little bit different than that,
But it is.
but it does speak well to your character.
I
Yes.
found it a kind of a Gen X thing too. We say we do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the
It's
point of the quote. It's easy to do when things are hunky dory.
Yeah.
But can you
Oh,
do
yeah.
it when things
but
are not?
it's one of our ways of repudiating boomers, because our impression of boomers is they're flighty and just, oh well, they decided to go roll in the mud instead of doing what they were supposed to do. We do what we're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, that's because we've been doing it since we were 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't any choices when this man's at home. He's 12 years old and he's deep frying his own French fries for dinner.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
like this is a man who stands on his own feet here.
Mess
Good time-
around and find
Good
out.
times and bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. This is probably true for a good number of boomer or Xers. Now, my parents were not boomers. My parents are actually born before World War II.
So they're greatest.
No, because they were born late 34, early 35.
What generation is that?
I don't know, because they're not the greatest generation in the sense that they were too young to have fought in World War I or World War II. I mean,
Hmm.
but they're not that forgotten generation either. I don't know exactly
They're
where
not
they
the-
fall.
Yeah, because I don't know the demarcation between silent, greatest, and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They might be silent.
Yeah, I think there might
because
still be a
there's like a
silent.
lost generation. They call it early
Yeah.
somewhere in there as well. And I don't know all of those. I mean, heck, people forget us half the time. It's hard enough to remember.
Yeah, I mean,
what all of those
And,
are.
and we like it that way.
And we do.
But,
We
you
do
know,
like it.
Yeah, boomers are easy. Boomers are 45 to 65 basically, or
Yeah.
64.
Why they get 20 years and we only get
Yeah,
15? I
and
don't
then
know.
we're 65 to 80,
You're the millennials.
Yeah.
and after
But-
after that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all that stuff because we went from X to then there was Y, but then that became millennials, and then there's Gen Z, and then it started all over at Alpha. But anyways, and honestly, now we've rabbit holed so much that I've forgotten exactly where I was going to go with that. Talking about
Your parents.
what were we talking about just before the
Taking care of things.
Taking
Taking care of business.
Deep frying French fries.
Yes, deep, yeah, and veal patties, those breaded veal patties.
There you go.
Oh man, those
Those were
are
good.
Oh my
Oh, I
god,
forgot
those are-
about those.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Especially if you put the instant mashed potatoes over the top of them.
That's shepherd's pie.
and make and do that as a sandwich. It's very good.
Never done that. But you're right. That would be a great shepherd's pie. Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, do we have the veracity to do what we need to do in times of struggle as well as times of
I remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
So, again, back to that, we've been doing it since we were 6. A lot of that is, we do that. Martin was saying that's our reaction to the flightiness of the boomers, which for me, older brother and sister,
Mm-hmm.
and that hippie marijuana culture that they came out of. But we do it, I think, a lot of it is because we didn't know any better. Because
Yeah.
because we did have to, take care of our own selves.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, whether I don't know if it's reaction, but or maybe it's just with the examples we grew up with watching on television, because television is very interesting in the sense that when we grew up, even the dysfunctional versions of families, like on All in the Family,
Mhm.
was a very traditional,
Well, hold on. What was
functional family.
dysfunctional about that?
Just the relationships in general,
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it was dysfunctional in the sense that the way they treated each other, but maybe that's where we learned a lot of our sarcasm too.
Yeah, the sarcasm
but-
definitely.
All of the examples we saw in media, because we didn't necessarily see it in our own families because they were
We
never
didn't-
home.
Yeah, we didn't see our own families.
Right. So the things that formed us were basically good examples for the most part, as in you do what you got to do,
Mhm.
And so to us, there were no alternatives because, one, we had to eat, had to get ourselves up, had to make sure we got our own. I mean, it's not like today where parents are doing half the homework for kids.
Yeah.
We had to make sure we got our own stuff done. My parents didn't know what my homework was, or if I even had homework.
Hell, they didn't know where you were from, about 1980 to 90.
Do you remember the commercial?
Pretty
that
much.
came
I'm
on?
trying to think of an
Yeah,
example where
10
that's not
o'clock.
true, but
10
yeah.
o'clock every night.
Do you know where your
Your
children, are?
Yeah.
And that was a legitimate.
That
oh,
was
yeah,
a
where,
legit.
Where
And,
are they?
And that is wild to people younger than us. It
Yeah,
really is.
Because
Well-
we went from the extreme of "Do you know where your children are?" to the helicopter parents, where
Yes.
Well, and that's us to a large degree. It's late boomers, but also us. We are
Mhm.
because that is, I think, our own rebellion against how we were brought up.
Yeah.
That we didn't want.
We're gonna be there.
Yeah, we're going to be there, and not us specifically
We overdid
necessarily,
it.
but our generation. We went in the opposite extreme.
Now I'm still kind of wondering where the hell these good times are that you're talking about. I don't know about that.
Well,
I don't remember those.
knowing your family history, I mean, hell, knowing my family history.
Exactly.
My
the fact that we're all sitting here as somewhat well-adjusted adults,
I'll press you on that one.
Well,
and I want to press them on both halves of it.
trust
Yeah,
me,
exactly.
Well-adjusted and
And
adults.
adults.
if you
yes.
were not somewhat well-adjusted, you would not be welcomed into my home.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's like my wife questions the level of adult in my supervision.
Okay.
Yeah.
he fakes it fairly well.
Yeah, we're passable.
Well,
How's
that's
that?
but see that goes back to kind of what I was saying though. For all of the talk,
Hmm.
we're all, for the most part, the Imperator aside, he's definitely the outlier, as in so many topics. The Imperator is the outlier, but we are, for all of our talk and what have you of our independence, we are all very straight laced and
Hmm.
I mean,
conformist in a lot
we're
of
so
ways.
conformist. We listen to the songs of Rocky Horror Picture Show, ironically.
Right.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh.
I was just listening.
Have you seen Better Off Dead yet?
No.
Oh my God. Oh.
I'll have to.
All
I
right.
listened
The next time we get together, I'll wear gold lame underwear for you.
Please don't. Please, I don't care if you do. Just don't show me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was listening to Rose Tints My World just last night.
Hmm.
I
Right.
mean, it's just
I love listening to those songs.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
I mean, they are. Partly they're fun because it's fun music, but also
good memories.
the good memories that it evokes. And despite all of the weird stuff we did, I mean, we still did. I mean, again, Imperator aside,
Imperator included.
Again,
no,
we've
it's-
always said he's a spike on the bell curve.
he is, yeah. But I mean, we generally have led very not boring necessarily, but
Mundane.
just
No.
every day.
Conventional.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
Conventional
conventional lives.
lives,
Mhm.
for the most part,
We've gone to
conventional
work.
lives.
We've kept things running. Our generation has invented a lot of the stuff that
Oh yes.
I've worked in the same square block
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for
Are you-
almost 38 years.
Yeah.
Whereas I've had a lot of different positions.
Yeah.
Although I've been at the one I'm at now since 2011, so it'll be 15 years in July.
Yeah. That's a.
For me, that's
That's a good
I've been at
stretch.
the same job for 31 years.
I
Yeah.
I have owned a home for 19 years.
But you've been there that long?
Yes, we got that in 2007,
Wow.
April of 2007.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, look at some of the newer employees at my work, and it's like, I've had a mortgage longer than you've been alive.
Right.
I've had underwear longer than most of them have been alive.
I've certainly had T-shirts longer than
Yeah.
some sweaters.
I don't have any underwear, but
But so to kind of pull back to Brother Andre's
Mhm.
quote, because your quote to me speaks to consistency of action,
mhm.
speaks to your character,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in many ways, and
Yep.
I think most people, when you really examine their lives, their actions are always consistent, because even when it looks like they're being altruistic, they're not. Sometimes,
They're being altruistic when it's convenient.
yeah,
Can you be altruistic when it's not convenient?
exactly.
Mhm.
And they go to great pains to hide those times when it's not convenient, so that the perception is that they are always, which politicians, I don't care, you can pick one, I don't care.
Yeah,
Any
they're all
politician,
they're
yeah.
all lying, disgusting pieces of crap.
Well, and
Yeah,
that
they're
is fair.
probably
I'm
not
taking
all,
this-
but gosh, it's hard to find one.
yeah,
that's not,
pick one. That's
Yeah, what was that? Sorry.
well, eventually our conversation is going to go there because I'm going to ask, regardless of what party you affiliate with, are you comfortable calling out? I'll use this word loosely, evil when it is evil.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh no,
Absolutely.
you say that
No.
so
Uh,
easily.
Oh no.
I do, because
Yeah,
I'll give you an example. So, do you remember when we had Maximus on the show?
Yes.
Okay, so Maximus is a huge Trump supporter,
Oh, Trump. Yeah.
and he is of the opinion that Trump is probably the best president we've ever had, better than Ronald Reagan. Now, in this circle, that's an astounding assertion to make.
That's
That's borderline blasphemy.
that's smoke a turd in hell.
Exactly. Yeah, that's beyond smoking a turd in purgatory. That's smoking a turd in hell. And he and I disagree. I am. While Trump may do things here and there
Mhm.
that I approve of, although honestly, there's been fewer things this term than in the first one where I approve.
Mhm.
But I have never liked him as a person, because I think
Oh, no.
he's such an immoral, narcissistic
Okay.
Bombastic.
But which of the presidents
Ass.
hasn't been?
Well, I mean, if you're in politics, especially if you
Yeah,
aspire
you
to
have
be
to be.
president, you're going to have some
Yeah.
form of narcissism.
You got to be a megalomaniac.
Not necessarily. Like, for instance, I don't know that I would call a Reagan or even a Jimmy Carter megalomaniacs.
no, I wouldn't either.
Nah. Yeah.
Um,
I'll agree with you on that.
That is a different time.
but it's a
in
different
politics.
time, yes.
Mhm.
But anyways, he and I disagree quite handily on
Mhm.
Trump versus anybody else. And it's not to say that because I'm not a fan of Trump that I wanted anybody else that was running to be president. But unfortunately, in modern politics, if you don't like one guy, you must be for the other person.
Mhm.
Not that he
Yeah, I
thinks
mean
that,
the
Well.
shades and subtleties and
Mhm.
just didn't survive the. Our attention span is
Mhm.
less than 15 seconds. I mean, even headlines anymore, we don't. You
Well,
know,
and
we can't finish anything. We can't finish magazine articles, let alone books.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you can't
Well,
make some kind of emotional punch with 10 words
mhm.
or two sentences, then it's just
Well-
over everybody's head anymore.
Now I've had these discussions with the Imperatrix a number of times, or tried to.
Oh my gosh, I can just imagine how, because I've been involved in some minor ones.
And I hate the hypocrisy of things like there are so many people screaming out about the actions of this current Trump administration, but they were not screaming out about the actions of the Clinton administration, which is responsible for removing the due process for illegal aliens or undocumented citizens, whatever you want to call them, or the Obama administration. Both of those administrations ended up killing more people in the process of deportations and deported a multiple of times more people. The difference was in those two administrations, local police were doing most of the picking up of people, and then they were just handed over to the feds almost immediately and disappeared.
Well, yeah, I was going to say,
But that's the law. That's
Yeah.
what's supposed to happen.
Yes,
It's
and
called
it-
a detainer.
Yes,
Well,
and the
and-
feds lodge a detainer.
yes,
Locals are supposed to keep them in
Yes.
custody.
but they're not.
And that's the difference.
but-
You're exactly
but that's
right.
well,
not
the other
happening.
difference,
As a way of making a political
Yes.
statement, places are ignoring the detainers and turning them back loose, which then forces these operations out into the
Exactly.
street.
well, and
Isn't
these
supposed to be
operations though
happening.
are also far more bombastic and in your face than anything. And
Right, he's
yeah.
trying
whether,
to prove-
whether that is
You're
it,
right, you're right.
Exactly.
He's
We're-
trying
they
to prove
are.
a point. He's
Yeah.
trying to he understands the value of making things public,
Mhm.
whereas
whether it's a
Other-
good value or not. is
yeah,
the question.
other administrations
Other
are like, we're
administrations-
doing it, but we're doing it on the sly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they-
I'll
and they-
agree. I'll
and
agree.
that's the narcissistic part of him because
Yeah.
he thinks,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, I'll agree with you. It is the law. It needs to be enforced. But I question the geography in which it is being enforced. I don't see this happening in South Carolina, in Georgia, in Arkansas.
Because they're
Oh.
honoring the detainers and they're
Yeah.
they're holding these people.
I-
Walls made
I will
a
call
decision.
out your.
Oh, no.
Walls made
Well,
a
this
decision.
This is political.
to
Well, but they are having the same issues in South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama. They've been raiding factories. They've been raiding farms. They've been doing all of that. And there's been mention in the press, but it's the local press there.
Well,
As opposed to the national press is picking and choosing what they want to show.
I would probably say, and again, I have not studied all of the articles and all of because
Mhm.
honestly,
Yeah. It's too much.
it's exhausting.
Yeah.
You know, just like like I was saying during the break, the Imperator's life is exhausting.
Oh, yes.
Keeping up with all the whether it be the immigration or the other stuff is even more exhausting than the Imperator's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
for
is
sure.
saying something.
for sure.
But my sense is that there is at very least there is some political
Mhm. definitely.
calculation going on by going to Minnesota. Now, part of that is because it was precipitated by the whole, and this is where what people do forget, the whole Somali daycare scam.
Mm-hmm.
And
education.
it
Yeah,
is
and
it is
education
no
schools.
it is no coincidence that happened just prior to this. So
Mhm.
you can make an argument both ways. Well, that was bad,
Yeah.
and so that's why they went. But they went because it's a good way to poke an eye
Politics.
in Walls's or poke a finger
Yeah.
in Walls's eyes.
But
He's-
again,
and he-
um,
he's
Walls
gone
is,
now.
Walls is making deliberate decisions to turn people loose and to tell the police don't help.
Right
Mhm.
now, and
Don't help.
and I don't know
So
how much of that goes on in
screws up every-
those red states.
Well, and that's what's
Which is
going
your
to-
point.
What is
Yeah.
changing is with Homans there now, Walls is caving, and they're oh okay yeah well
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised he's caving because since he's
Well-
had to drop out of his governor's race, he can do whatever the heck he wants.
it's
Yeah,
they're
but I-
realizing that it's like, well, we're not following the law here. We're trying to make a statement. We've done enough embarrassing.
Well,
of the administration, now we kind of don't have any choice.
well, I think.
But really,
and they're
but do they?
Well,
Because hold on,
Yeah.
and again, whether he's caving or not, that's not the question. My question is, do they really have a choice? Because when you think about the way government is set up, well, okay,
when Holman goes in there
It-
and says you're not getting
Martin
any-
is rubbing his fingers together.
you're not
in
getting the money.
universal money.
Yeah.
You're not getting the money, then states and cities fold their tents.
Mhm.
There, and that is
And that's universal, regardless of the issue. States
that's true. Yeah,
they can spout out whatever,
Mhm.
yeah.
and no matter what political side,
Right.
states
Democrats
leadership
hold it
is
over
on,
Republicans and vice
Republicans,
versa.
Should they?
right.
No,
No.
they shouldn't.
No, they should.
Because
But
back
you're
to
right,
the,
they
back
shouldn't.
to the quote.
But again, that goes to both sides,
But again,
Yeah.
which is part of what
you're trying to
The
make
Imperator would say.
You're trying to make politicians human, and we're saying they're
They're very inhuman.
they're very right. They're gonna go where the money is. So when they say, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
you're either going to start cooperating with us, or you're not getting another nickel," then state leadership, city leadership's going to fold,
Yeah.
and they're going to start cooperating, and they don't have a leg to stand on because there's a law anyway that you're supposed to cooperate, and then this unprecedented
It's one of
agreement,
those-
unprecedented cooperation that's quoting a newspaper about
Mm-hmm.
the
it's not
Holman.
unprecedented. That's the norm.
Right, it's
It's
the norm.
supposed to be the norm.
It's a
it
norm,
is.
and so this is all going to go away now.
The thing that's you had asked, and this is a very very good question because you said, should it be that way about the
when the money goes away, they all fold.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
If it's
And-
the
and-
truth, you should stick to it.
part of the well, it's
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's certainly
Well, it's
if
facts.
we're talking about moral principles, absolutely you should,
Mhm.
because that's kind of what the quote goes to.
Yes.
Is you have to stick to your moral principles,
Mm-hmm.
and really, for the most part, only the very good and only the very bad stick to their principles.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else lives in the gray. Because when you think about,
Well, it's situational ethics.
well, I mean, honestly, that is human norm.
Then it's
Yeah.
then it's hogwash.
Well,
If it
it's-
doesn't, if you cannot stand the test of
the question is this though:
Look.
is it hogwash or is it it's because I think to a certain degree, yes, you are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely speaking, everyone should always adhere to
Yeah.
the high morals that they espouse. Obviously, the question becomes, what do you do when it's not as proximate to you as perhaps at other times? So, for instance, it's a lot easier to let things slide when either it doesn't affect you, which is the worst time to let it
Mhm.
slide, because that's when you should really apply your morals because you don't have anything to lose, or B, when it's not something that you could have any effect over in any sense, which honestly is most of what goes on in politics for the little people,
Mhm.
right? For guys like us that aren't involved in policy and execution of policy, or C, it's just stuff that does not and cannot affect your life.
Mhm.
So therefore, what could you do? Because I don't know that your morals and your principles require that you tilt at windmills that are
Yeah, I mean,
not necessarily, because again, it's kind of an iffy thing, because yes, you should always stand up for those principles.
Mhm.
You should be vocal about them where it's appropriate. But the question is, should that mean that you have to leave your state to go protest in Minnesota? On either side, I don't care which side you're
Yeah.
talking about. So that's why I say that sometimes people live in the gray, in that it's difficult to express those principles for a lot of reasons. You may hold them privately or even publicly,
yeah.
but that doesn't always mean you can do anything about it.
you can always speak the truth.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
yeah,
and-
If you're willing
But
to
for
pay
some
the
people-
price for that.
Well, and sometimes, I think I think it's also legitimate to say, all right, I have limits, to use political terms, limited political capital. Where do I want to speak that? Where do I want to apply my time and effort
Mhm.
on issue A, because that's where I have a passion, or must I apply it on all the issues? And see, I think that's where one of the things that is part of the gray.
Well, but
Because absolutely, on a high level and even on a low level, I absolutely agree. We should
Mhm.
always be consistent
Yes.
in our actions.
But-
But I think an inaction is not necessarily being inconsistent.
Well, but one of the things that we really need to take into consideration with this approach is we are privileged, the four of us, in the fact that we can take the time to speak out in some cases. We do have the money to be able to do things.
It's not unlike our discussion
Yes,
this
exactly.
morning. Mhm.
The vast majority of people in the world, uh, a good deal of the reason they can't see past the end of their own nose is they're surviving.
Mhm.
They're struggling every day just with taking care of their families, taking care of their straight needs, whatever. And we are in this country, especially us, extremely wealthy and entitled
Certainly compared to the rest of the
compared
world.
to the rest of the
Well,
world.
we're wealthy compared
Free
to the
to,
rest of the
free
world.
to poke our nose in
Yes,
places where
but-
maybe it doesn't
but-
belong.
yes.
And, you know,
But
honestly,
we're wealthy considering for this country.
I wouldn't say wealthy, but we are certainly, I would say, upper middle class.
Exactly. We're not hurting. I mean, we're not wondering where our next meal is coming from
Not
or
crying.
how we're going to afford it.
Yeah, because he's going to make it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's going to be cooked in about 20 minutes.
But I mean,
Um,
when you look at what people are making per hour, and then let's say they want to go out to eat,
Mhm.
McDonald's will run you, $30 for two people, or White Castles.
What are you ordering?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No, it's
No kidding. I mean,
no $12 plus
Nine-
tax.
yeah,
Yeah.
$9 for the number one value meal or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like,
exactly.
where's the value in that?
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
Arby's, is
And
nine,
then you add on
9 to 12
tax.
bucks per meal.
Yeah, exactly. It adds up quick.
Yeah, never mind going to if you want to go to like a Five Guys or a Home Run Burger, one of
Yeah.
the gourmet burger
Uh-huh.
places. You're easily going to spend $15 to $20
Exactly.
on a lunch. But I think that you bring up a great point about we have the ability or not ability, we have the capacity
Yes.
to be outraged,
Mhm.
which is a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Because outrage, when it's appropriate, because you can be outraged at things that are inappropriate.
hmm
In other words, you can be outraged because
Yeah.
it only hurts me. But
But-
Marcus is doing it.
You know, the actions you take when you are outraged matter.
Mhm.
they do.
Yes, they do.
But I was also going to say,
Like setting up your own roadblocks and then telling people, well, we want to make sure we know who's coming in and out.
I was like, that's none of your business.
You mean like
Well,
border control?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of ironic
Like how ironic. Like
that.
you're protesting border control by setting up borders?
Well, yeah, or
That's funny. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say though,
that or the fact that as Catholics we have a gate on heaven.
You know,
Uh,
Billie Eilish talking about there's nobody illegal on stolen land.
With her.
So what you're saying is the Native Americans need a better border control?
Well, that or they need their land back that are $4 million houses sitting on.
$18 million.
18 million? Oh, okay.
$18 million
Yes.
estate that she
Yes.
lives on. You know, this is
Uh-huh.
like the global warming and climate change. But I bought an
Yes.
$11 million home on an island,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr.
That-
and Mrs. Obama.
Well, yeah. That.
Wait a minute, I
a
thought you
beach-
told us this was going to be
a
underwater.
a beach home.
You said we got to have electric cars because all of this is going to be underwater.
Yeah.
But you live on an island.
Yes.
beachfront
beach.
property.
Beachfront
Yeah.
property.
Depends on
Like,
how
if you
far up
really-
the volcano they live.
Yeah. I
Oh
mean,
no,
if
they're
you-
they're right there at ground level. Or,
yeah,
sea
Martha's
level.
Vineyard.
Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, it's exactly.
It's an
Exactly.
$11 million home on Martha's Vineyard. Look,
Yeah, there's
look,
that one, too.
If you really believed in this, you would live in Kansas.
Right.
But Kansas isn't fashionable.
Yes.
It isn't on the beach.
It's a flyover state.
And
Yeah.
so all these people live in the Hamptons. You talk about this circle
Yes.
that Epstein and the collisions of these
Mhm.
wealthy, the hedge funds and people who own
yeah.
football teams in Hollywood, this is where they collide, is these places like Martha's Vineyard
Yes.
and the Hamptons and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And it's like, look, I don't want to
Yeah.
hear from none of you all
Exactly.
because everything you say is a lie. You tell us
Mhm.
that we've got to eat bugs and not drive our cars while you guys live on an island.
And you
fly-
jet everywhere.
And you got your
Yeah, you-
private jet.
Private jet. You told us this is all going to be underwater
Mm-hmm.
and there's not going to be any food to eat. It's like, you're nothing but liars.
So, and on
Well,
that note,
hypocrites.
and on,
I think it's time for a break.
Yeah, we can take a break.
So, yeah, I mean, I just. Oh, there you go.
bourbon break.
There you
And
go.
man, is it needed.
Yeah.
I think we need to pour an extra one. Or
Speaking of outrage,
I mean, yeah, I guess I've had a couple here, haven't I?
Wow. But I understand where you're coming from. Because that really does speak to the heart of
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's
yeah.
are
So-
your words and your actions consistent? That's a indicator of character.
yeah.
Yeah. But nobody's character is perfect.
This-
Right.
Yeah, but you know what is
We
perfect?
are all human.
A good glass
good
of bourbon,
bourbon.
over a little bit of ice to
With-
blend that
with friends.
with
friends.
With friends,
yeah.
especially
With
in
brothers.
a great
with
friend
family.
like Brother Andre,
Yes.
Yes.
who is someone I admire greatly
Mhm.
because of he takes these kinds of quotes seriously. I mean,
Oh,
this,
yes.
Well,
this
I think
really
w-
means something to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Well, and I think that honestly,
I don't want him to feel like I'm assailing him because I
Right.
actually agree with him a great deal.
Oh, absolutely.
and I,
But
I
you
do
know-
see him as an example for me to follow.
Well, and that's true for even me and Francis.
Yeah.
I know this embarrasses you, and you think we're blowing smoke up your ass, and we're not.
Which is another good sign of your character.
It is.
And this isn't an Epstein kind of thing.
Maybe it's because
hold that thought.
Hold that.
yeah.
thought.
Hold. Wait a minute.
You got to add that to the buttons, man.
I can't switch over I've got to change the buttons. Right. There's a sound that is perfect for hold
Well,
that thought.
give him the agonizer anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can give him the agonizer.
Oh.
That's not the agonizer. There's
There
the
you go.
agonizer.
Well, I mean that's like my wife's.
Anyways, bourbon,
Yeah.
bourbon.
So, Martin, what are you drinking?
I poured Basil Hayden,
Mhm.
which we haven't had Basil Hayden on the show in a long time.
We have not. But you know what? Every one of us has it in our houses, but we've not had it on the show in a
Yeah.
while.
You know, I don't have a bottle right now.
Oh, did you finish? I thought you had a bottle.
No,
I'll
I
gift you
haven't
one.
had I haven't had a bottle in a long time.
Okay.
I
I've got the wine cask version.
would like to get the 10-year-old and have a bottle of the 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But Basil Hayden's foundational bourbon. This story's been told on the show several times.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's one of the first bourbons we ever had. Francis's
Mhm.
place, 92 elections.
Oh, that was at my place.
Oh, it's your place.
That's right. We were in the basement of my house on Crittenden.
Right,
Ah.
right. And
We were watching the election returns.
we had it.
94, not 92.
94.
94.
94. 94.
I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crittenden and
Is that when your memory
Old
phased
Third
out?
Street.
No,
Okay.
I was in Seattle at the time.
Okay.
yes.
Probably.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay.
but all through that era, when we were first adopting bourbon, 30 years ago now, Basil Hayden was right there.
It was. That was
Mhm.
that 1792. I think was the other early
Yep.
one that that we really
Yep.
spent a lot of time with, which are great starter bourbons. They
Elijah
really are.
Craig is one
Elijah
that,
Craig,
that
yeah.
I started fairly early as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's an excellent bourbon. We
but
haven't
yeah.
had that on the show in a while either.
Yeah, I've got it now. I do have a bottle of that we could pop open.
I've got a bottle of Foolproof that I'm really looking forward to opening.
So I am. I believe I discussed this previously on the show, but I had a bottle of Booker's
Mm-hmm.
and a bottle of Little Book Chapter 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about opening the Chapter 9 when Bjorn came in for his Christmas visit from Japan. But because Robert was not able to join us,
Aw,
I set it aside.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we just opened the Bookers because Brother Andre and Francis did come discuss the mysteries of the Church of Rome
Mm-hmm.
with Bjorn.
Is he a swim?
I love
is
that he
s-
quoted Tombstone there.
Is he swimming the Tiber?
So we're saving the Little Book Um, when I finish,
Yes.
and then if I can talk someone into publishing it, um,
Tony will publish, I'm
Tony,
positive.
Tony, and I think probably Law Dog would be interested as well.
Yes.
And I discovered that a coworker, a young man in another office, a coworker who is a veteran, is also published by Raconteur and Law Dog. And I was like, wow! I can't
What
believe
is
it.
what is his name? We need to promote him. What's his author's name?
Jacob Sharp. He's
Jacob
publishing
Sharp.
under his own name.
Oh, okay.
He published Boy's Adventure. So it's a story. I forget the name of the book, but it's a story of like a young man caught in the Boxer Rebellion.
Oh,
You know, so 55 Days at Peking.
right,
Actually
right.
sounds
Had
very
a Chuck
interesting.
Esty. So I couldn't believe it. I was like, I know another writer. I couldn't. Yeah. So Jacob Sharp, Raconteur Press, A Boy Among the Boxers, I think is the name. It's something close to that. So I'm sure if you search on Amazon, you'll find it. Very interesting young man. You know, you get a sense of people a little bit with Zooms, Teams meetings,
Right.
You know, these video meetings, and when people are teleworking, and we were on a call one time, a big office call, and his space where he was working reminded me of my space because it was full of books, much like Brother Andre's library here. So he had this great space full of books. He's a veteran, so he had some military artifacts and things. I was like, this is an interesting young man. I need to find out about this. And he's only been with us a short time. He's just become a new father. I think his baby's a year old now. Just at his is that a boy?
Does he go to Imaginarium?
He has not been to Imaginarium, but he is hoping to go to LibertyCon.
Oh, excellent.
I had mentioned that to the fellas. He's on the wait list for LibertyCon. So if I hear that he's going, I'm going to hook him up with you guys.
LibertyCon is it's interesting. There's a distinct difference between LibertyCon and Imaginarium.
Oh yeah.
Imaginarium.
Do tell.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Imaginarium, right?
Okay.
I mean, there must be over 100 different workshops and panels that are going on, and there's probably it's probably more than 100. I've never counted them up, but over the course of the 3 days, there must be at least a half a dozen things going on every hour, at least. And LibertyCon is much more laid back. There's only a couple of things going on at any one time.
If there's that many things going on, how do you truly get the most out of it?
Well, because it's such a broad spectrum of things. So, like, there's a lot of editing stuff. There's world building stuff. There's craft. I mean, so there's
You have to pick what you want to see.
right.
Yeah, you have to plan it out.
Yeah, you really do have to plan it out.
Yeah.
And I plan my stuff out that I'm interested in ahead of time, and usually I've got like 2, 3, 4 things that are options, and I try and narrow it down depending on this is something similar that's going to be happening here and on this other day. So maybe I only do it on this other day, even though this one looks slightly better because I can hit something else over here. So it's a juggling act.
Imaginarium does kind of lean heavy though into like fantasy genre
And it is
stuff.
it is much
Yeah.
heavier into fantasy. You're also going to see more blue and pink and green haired people running around, and there's going to be a
So
definite.
it's a therapist's dream, cash wise.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't necessarily go that far,
The booth
but it
directly-
would not surprise me if a
Yeah.
good number of the people who are there do have regular therapy sessions. And I'm not saying that's
Good
a
for
bad
them.
good for them.
Yeah.
Whereas at LibertyCon, politically, they tend to be a more conservative group, and I don't mean MAGA conservative. I mean what we would consider
A more
traditional
Reagan
Conventional-
conservatives.
Reagan
a more
conservatives.
conventional.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that there's not MAGA people there, but my sense is they're more. It's more X oriented, Gen X oriented,
So
Yeah.
libertarian kind of.
very libertarian,
Yeah.
very libertarian bent.
I would argue Reagan was not a libertarian.
He was not.
No.
He was not. But on the other hand, I would say that not that libertarians would be. I probably Martin would be able to speak to this better than I can, because right now Martin, as any libertarian says, he's the only libertarian in the room.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Imperator and I are here, and both of us would, again, we agree on two things: taxation is theft,
Yes.
and there's only one libertarian in the room.
Right, is my favorite well, that and why?
I mean, it's kind of the only libertarian joke, but
no, there's one more.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like why libertarians don't like Italian sports cars? Because fiat.
Fiat. Oh yeah.
Ah.
That's my other libertarian joke that I like so much. See, and you got to be. I love that one because you have to be an intellectual as well.
You have to understand about a contraction and expansion of the money supply to really be into that
That's
one.
right. Like if you know who Milton Friedman is, you're not going to get that joke. Most likely.
The Austrian school gets a mention.
But anyways,
What a great episode.
yeah.
Anyway, back to Basil Hayden. What tasting notes do you have?
Well, since it's almost done and it's kind of water now, but I mean, Basil Hayden is one of those originals where you get that caramel.
It's got a traditional profile.
Yeah, it is. But it's only 80 proof. It's very mild drinker, and a little caramel, a little sweetness, and it's good.
Yeah, I think it's one that you could probably do well with as a neat bourbon. Although, I will admit, back when we were young and stupid, as opposed to our current old and stupid, it's just a different stupid. We drank our bourbons with Coke. So,
Blasphemy.
I mean, we just have to forgive ourselves.
Oh Lord!
but you know what? Anybody who says that they didn't start out that way,
Is lying.
I find hard to believe. And I'm sure that the
I
Imperator is going to be, oh, of course. Well, I started drinking Pappy first thing.
No. My
In a nipple.
my family was huge on highballs made with makers,
Traditional Southern.
which I found
Makers
to
and
be-
ginger ale.
I found to be the most disgusting thing on God's green earth.
See, having grown up with, even though my parents are Southern, grew up in Michigan, and of course up there, Canadian whiskeys are much.
Oh, 7 and 7.
yeah.
7 and
Yeah,
7,
7 and 7
VO,
would've been it,
Seagram's,
yeah.
all that. That was my mom's drink. My dad was more of a beer drinker, but that was my mom's drink.
But yeah, I mean, makers and ginger. Yeah, I mean, people will sit around and would suck those down like water. Yeah.
But you know what? Certain ginger ales, they really can complement some bourbons.
Yeah.
I am far more willing to allow that than I used to be.
That's why Beam still advertises that.
Now,
Beam and ginger.
Is cutting Vernors with bourbon
No,
sacrilegious? As
you cut Vernors with bourbon.
okay.
If you're a true aficionado, you cut the Vernors with bourbon.
Yeah.
Well, Vernors is what we drink when we're sick, when we're from Michigan.
Well,
Our
Chicken noodle soup,
chicken noodle soup and Vernors, man.
and the price is right.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
God, those bathing suits.
I watched The Price is Right the other day for the first time, literally in probably 30 years. They have male models now.
Oh, God,
wow.
that's
Janice is
sacrilege.
turning in her grave.
Wow.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, times change. Times
Yes.
change.
Holly and Janice and Diane.
Was it
Oh,
Diane?
Diane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trifecta.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, Robert, what are you drinking?
Give me a minute. I'm still thinking about the.
Yes.
Anyways, so I poured the Weller Special Reserve.
Always the best showcases when they were giving away a boat. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, when they got into the
Oh.
bathing suits.
So the Weller Special Reserve. This is the Weller in the green label.
Yep.
And if you don't know this already, this is no longer one of the allocated bourbons available at Buffalo Trace. You can buy this off the shelf anytime and as many as you want,
Yeah.
which means it is likely to start showing up in regular stores relatively soon in the same way. Now, because it is a Weller, it will probably still be hard to find. But considering this is a $30 list price, I think this is one that's going to be available. It's like when Buffalo Trace went off allocation, you can find that anywhere now.
Well, I stopped at that liquor store, state-run liquor store up in Cincinnati, north
Right.
of Cincinnati,
Mhm.
and they had probably 20 bottles
Of the green,
of the green. They had about I don't remember how
And
many.
$30, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how many were in the picture that I sent because they had a bunch of them lined up, but then they had a whole bunch more in boxes over to the side.
I can't wait to the blues and the reds.
Oh, well, the red is currently one of the allocated bourbons at Buffalo Trace. So every couple of days, you can get a bottle of the Antique 107.
That's good stuff too.
And
That is.
that is phenomenal. I got Mrs. Robert to let me buy a bottle back in November because Chex had it. Great
Okay,
Chex
yeah.
Cafe, and they had it on sale for $130.
Mhm.
Now, if you follow how much the Wellers have been, that's a phenomenal price historically
Yep.
to buy retail.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is all I want for Christmas is this bottle. Come to find out, just several weeks ago, that the Antique 107 has replaced the Weller Green as one of those 4 allocated bottles. If you go on the right day, you can get it at Buffalo Trace for $60.
Yeah.
Oh, you paid double.
And I
And,
paid
and next week it'll be 15.
what?
Next week it'll be 15 with the bourbon market.
Oh,
The
Eh.
prices.
I
Yeah.
don't think it'll go down that much.
But anyways, so the Weller Green, it is a screw top bottle, but it is the finest screw top bottle of bourbon you will encounter.
Only time I want to get screwed.
Yeah, it was absolutely. Well, when it comes to the negative
Yeah, exactly.
connotation,
Yeah, the bad portion.
it's a wheated bourbon, so it's a little bit sweeter, but also this is one, and maybe it's because it's it's younger than the others. And this is like I think a 90 proof. I didn't bring the bottle in here, so I don't remember, but it's not an 80. I think it's a 90.
It's really the sweet spot.
To
For
me,
me,
I like
for me.
I like the higher.
I like a
proof.
sweet 90 proof bourbon with flavor.
It's not super complex, but you definitely get the sweetness. There's almost a hint of what I would call a grass flavor, but it's not grass. It's the wheat that's coming through. Because I don't know what grass tastes like. I don't eat it. But it's that kind
Like
of
a sweet bread.
It's sort of. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a grain kind of
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah.
And it's just really
Totally.
really good. I mean,
Kinda
I
like
would
a
buy
hops?
this, huh?
Kind of like a hops.
No, I don't think.
No, hops would be much more bitter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Much more bitter than. But I know what you're saying because
Yeah.
it's like breads that you get that have a little bit of sweet taste, sweet Italian bread, something like that.
But no,
it.
it's not as smooth as that because a sweet
Yeah.
Italian bread is really.
Oh,
really
yeah,
smooth, maybe some of the older or maybe higher proof ones might have that. I don't.
Honey wheat?
I don't know. Partially, this is also a little skewed because of the willet. Because remember that I said
Yeah,
that it had a little bit of that rye taste to it,
Mhm.
and I think that has skewed my flavor profile some. But I still get that those same notes that I usually do. So not that much, but I would drink this if this is the only bottle in the house. I would absolutely gladly
Yeah, indeed.
gladly drink this.
Oh yeah.
Mrs. Brother Andre and myself sat down the other night, and we don't routinely drink in the evenings, but it was a tough day, and we sat down and enjoyed a bottle of that Weller's. And it had been months since I had tasted, and it was welcome.
Yep.
So what did you pour yourself, sir?
Well, this might be a little bit of a controversial review because
Ooh.
I poured myself Blanton's.
Oh yes, you have one of the little bottles.
Yeah,
Yes.
I recently in December, early part of December, I went over to the distillery and I bought. That was one of the allocated bottles, and I bought it because it had probably been 10 years since I had had Blanton's, and with all the hype and whatnot, I'm like, maybe I need to revisit it, and so I brought it and I cracked it today, and I was enjoying it, and it was
for a few seconds.
well, there was a couple of things. First, I tasted it. It was a very comforting initial single profile, but then it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was a very pungent back of the mouth harshness aftertaste. It was like a punch in the jaw.
That's interesting because I don't think I've ever had that because that's a very visceral reaction you had.
Because
I've never had that.
the Imperator was sitting here watching me. I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is good." And I was just like, "Oh!"
Yeah, I did I let my nose breathe it and what have you, and I'm like,
And I
I've
did have a.
forgotten how harsh this thing is.
See, I had a sip of it, which you very gracious let me sip from the bottle.
Yeah.
But alcohol kills germs,
Yes,
so
indeed.
yeah,
we're good. No, don't mind that open cold sore.
they're swap and
Yeah.
spit. It's one of those things.
Yeah. So what else is new?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's one of those bourbons that has a very oily or viscous
Yeah.
texture to it,
Mhm.
which I'm not a huge fan of. That viscous texture. But to me, it's not a bad sipping bourbon in the sense that I don't require it to be bloomed because honestly,
Mhm.
to me, when it blooms, all the flavor goes away.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next point.
Okay, yeah, and I'm glad to know that's not
Yeah,
just
it
me.
is short-lived in the glass if you've got ice.
This one would most be enjoyed chilled, but not bloomed.
Yes, with a steel ball as opposed
Yeah.
to an
Oh,
ice ball.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the water dilutes any flavor that is there, and
Yeah.
like right now,
I mean, probably a little bit of water is fine, but it's very minuscule amount.
Yeah. because right now I'm tasting more water than any
Yes.
other flavor, and
And you've still got a good chunk of ice left.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
so after it blooms, the flavor is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
which is very disappointing. And I know the hype is, it's a cool bottle. The bottle shape itself is very cool. It's very distinct. The horse
a little
topper,
horse thing.
those are awesome marketing gimmicks. I love that.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
The product placement with the John Wick movies really also
Well,
Yeah.
and that's part of
was
it. Just
huge
for
it.
and the reason they did that though is because it's a unique bottle.
Yeah,
I
So because it looks like it's one of those things that would be very expensive.
you see, but
But
I
it's-
feel when I think of Blanton's. Now, granted, my son loves Blanton's. I never liked it. I have the same feeling towards Blanton's that I have towards Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
It's marketing, it's hype, and to be fair, it's not very interesting.
that's the thing. There's no complexity.
No.
And that's one of the things that as we have been experiencing so many, I mean,
Mhm.
we have probably experienced, certainly between all of us, hundreds of bourbons.
Yep.
Oh yeah, easy.
And if not individually over the years that we've been doing the show, because we've sought out new experiences, unlike
Mhm.
how we used to stick to just the old favorites,
Yeah.
but we have purposely sought out new experiences, and it's just one that
Mhm.
it's okay. I certainly don't think it's a bad bourbon by itself. I mean, it's still, I mean, as my pastor likes to say, even a bad bourbon is still bourbon.
Mhm.
And there's some truth to that.
Yes.
Trader Joe's bourbon aside.
Is that,
It's still bourbon.
is that like saying you wouldn't kick it out of bed unless you wanted it on the floor?
Mm,
Hold that thought.
maybe.
Maybe.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
think I would sign that.
I mean,
My,
there's something
my
to
bed's
that.
pretty tall. If you fell out of my
Oh.
bed,
Yeah, mine too. Yeah,
With
yeah.
my luck, I'd break something.
You would.
you already have.
I feel like you could break something just sitting there.
I might.
Please
Um,
don't. I don't know how good my homeowner's
I mean,
insurance is.
Yeah, really. Let's put it this way: I do not mean to denigrate Blanton's as a brand, because again, as a neat bourbon, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's not gonna be a go-to. It's just that we have tried so many exceptional bourbons over the years
Yeah, I mean,
that it pales in comparison.
it's good
Yes.
stuff. If you get your hands on a bottle, enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for $20 less, go buy some old Steelhouse,
Yeah.
and then
Or go buy a bottle of 1910,
yeah,
Oh my God! Yes.
the Old
Yeah,
Forester.
that'd be
something.
$40 less.
Yeah.
really.
Well,
And-
75 is what you pay for that at the distillery. So
You know,
yeah,
Oh,
in my
okay.
20s, I thought I was refined ordering Beam and Coke, as we mentioned.
yeah.
But
Ugh.
like you mentioned, as we grow and our palates expand,
Yes.
this is a good bourbon. Might be a good intro level bourbon.
Hmm.
But not at that price.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is a bit
Honestly,
pricey.
to me, that's more of a $30 to $35 price range.
Yeah, I'd
mhm.
agree.
I mean,
It should be.
And pretty regularly, if you come across it in a store, if it's usually $90.
Oh yeah.
I would
At-
not. I
at
would not.
least.
I would not pay a price point of $90 for that bourbon.
No.
So
No.
the old Steelhouse,
Well, it's like
at
the-
$70 is so good.
It's
Well,
like
how
the,
much-
the bottle of Pappy's that Cajun purchased from you from
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
That we had. Matter of fact, we had here.
Yes, we did.
We
had
had
it
here.
We had it right here.
That's another one that honestly, for the hype and the price, I was kind of disappointed with. I don't think it was any better than, and I mean, for a 10-year bourbon,
That was Peppy Van Winkle. Right?
Yes.
technically
Yeah.
that was the old Rip.
Old
Old
Rip.
Rip,
Old
yeah.
Rip.
Yeah. They're all
A
Pappy,
10-year.
but technically the brand on that particular bottle is
It's
the
an old Rip.
is an old Rip.
And
It just wasn't really,
but I mean, the retail on that's $150.
and that's overpriced for the flavor you get. I think that's overpriced.
I was never a fan of the 10 or the, I always liked the 23s.
Well,
Yeah, you think?
but even so though, even the
But,
18, the 20, or the 23.
But at 400,
think
is
those
it
are-
overpriced? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I have never really had anything that but again, I come from, a very, my family was a lot poorer growing up than I
Thrifty
realized.
background, Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tend to be a lot more thrifty about how I
Mhm.
like spending 130 on that antique 107. That hurt.
Oh yeah.
That is the most I've ever paid for a bourbon.
And the
Oh,
fact
man,
the
that's
fact
good.
that you didn't realize you were poor, I applaud your parents.
Well, but it's not so much that
Well, you don't know any
it's
different.
partially that I just didn't know any different. I knew other people had more stuff, but I never went hungry. I always had a place to
Yeah.
place
Again,
to
I
live.
applaud your parents.
Mhm.
Well,
Well,
there was less stuff to have too. I mean, as long as you
well,
had
there
a
was, but I mean, we
TV,
didn't even
you
have a
had
lot of the stuff
TV.
that
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There was like, oh, you got an 85 TV. I just have a 55 TV. I mean, we really get
Stuff has always been there.
yeah. But
Well, we
there's
don't-
more.
there's more stuff.
There's more stuff now. Yeah.
yeah, I think there is, but
You know.
and that's partially why it's so expensive to cost of living today is because we put money into stuff.
Yeah. Consumerism.
Well, it's the monthly stuff. I mean,
I mean,
all the
there's that too,
subscriptions.
Yeah, subscription service.
um,
wanna-
cell phones, tablets, computers.
Oh, yeah, it
your
adds
monthly internet.
Looking at the table in front of us, there's 4 iPhones here. That's $4,000 worth of technology.
if not more. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But none of us paid. Well, at least me. I don't pay that out front. I do.
you
the
pay it over time.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
because it's no interest.
It's still
Yeah, I-
$1,000 cell phone.
It is. I get it. I'm just saying. If I had to shell out 1,000, I wouldn't have an iPhone.
You are selling out 1,000.
No, I didn't shell out 1,000. I'm paying it monthly. There's a
You're
difference.
paying $33.95 a month.
No, I'm one of those that I will pay the upfront so that I can pay a prepaid plan at $30 a month for the rest of the time. And I'll hold off, but I'll buy my iPhones used and get an older one. This one's a 14 Pro.
I will say this. One of the things I've noticed about we are really rabbit holing here, but and maybe this would be a good show one day. Apple versus Android. Really,
I don't like the green people.
well, and I mentioned that to
Well,
my wife.
but-
Before we switched over as a family to the iPhones,
Mhm.
my wife complained about a coworker because she had an Apple, and this is when Tracy still had a Samsung Note. She
Mhm.
still misses the stylus on the Note sometimes, but she's gotten over it. She likes to stalk the family and wants to be stalked. It's like, you stalk me because I want you to know how to find me or know, if somebody's,
Where the body is.
exactly. But anyways, she used to get so upset because her friend from work would give her grief because of the green bubbles. And the funny thing is, it's not that the person you're texting has the green bubble. Your bubbles are green.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
not even that their texts are unreadable. It's
Well.
that yours are on your own screen. But that is genius. And I told her that is genius marketing.
Yep.
Mhm.
That was Apple.
It was that's part of the marketing. You make
yeah.
the Apple phone, even for
But-
people who don't have it, you make your experience is worse because they don't have one.
Do you know what the
What?
difference between green and blue bubbles are?
What?
Green are sent over text messages. Blue are sent over internet messages.
Well,
That's the only difference.
no, you have to be signed in to iCloud. For
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, but-
iMessage or Blue. That's
Yeah.
your Apple
Now-
servers are handling them as
Now-
opposed to
Yeah.
just SMS.
So,
Now
so if it
this-
goes over SMS, it's green.
Now, this of which we're speaking, these apples,
Mm-hmm.
tie directly back to
Oh.
Brother Andre's quote.
Yes.
We all happen to have iPhones.
Yes.
It is one of the most
This
evil
is-
corporations ever
This
to exist,
is-
in my opinion.
This is made out of blood. Child labor, dying, mining the minerals for this thing. the blood
Now,
minerals.
to be fair, just about any smartphone.
this is true.
I was going to say,
but-
I'll switch tomorrow if you can
But-
prove to me that Samsungs aren't.
no, but the
well,
other
Samsungs
thing
are
is,
probably not assembled by child labor.
Yes.
But the materials are mined probably
now
by child
these are manufactured, put together by Foxconn.
labor. Yes.
Those
Most of them,
plants-
not all of them
not all
anymore.
of them anymore.
Matter
But
of fact, as I
they're
understand,
losing the
supposedly,
contract. They're bringing it back to the U.S.
supposedly, yeah, very soon your iPhones will be
But
made here in the U.S., which I
these-
applaud.
The compa-
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do too. The company that makes these, that assembles these, is so bad that they force their workers to live at the plants, and the plants and the buildings that they live in have anti-suicide nets around them to keep the employees from killing themselves. So many,
So
were
they can't
killing-
jump off.
So
the
so many
roof.
of them were jumping and killing themselves.
That sounds like a crazy story, but I mean that when that first came out, that was many
Yeah,
years,
exactly.
years
Yeah.
years ago. now.
Everybody was like,
Yeah.
it's like Mel Gibson with talking about the pedophiles in Hollywood.
Exactly.
Uh,
But that's a great example though of how we compromise our
Yes.
principles sometimes without even realizing.
without even knowing it. Yeah.
So, because if we were to truly live our principles, especially as
Mm-hmm.
deacons, servants of the poor is what we're supposed to be. Are we serving the poor by having one of these? Yeah, maybe not. On the other hand, it's one of those things where I had absolutely nothing to do with any of the stuff that went other than I'm enabling it.
You're funding it.
At what point is the moral culpability?
And when there are no other
Yours.
choices in the marketplace,
There's always a choice to not
There's
participate.
always
to
a
not
choice.
participate.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But also as deacons, as ministers,
yeah. But you
it's
gotta
very
have
difficult for us to not be on call.
Well, I could get a landline back in here somehow.
I mean, the last
You
person,
can have a landline, but unless you're home 24/7,
Yeah. Or you could get a pager. They still make those things.
I mean,
which is astounding. Yeah,
the last person I knew without a phone was my father.
Mm-hmm.
right.
So, and he's been gone 12 years.
Also, somebody born before World War II, right?
No, at the end.
At the end, okay.
Yeah, my parents actually were boomers.
But I
So
mean,
they were actually young.
That's right, because your
We're
parents
ex-
are, yes.
Ex-parents, yes.
Yeah, because you're the oldest, so that would make it.
They're
Yeah.
I mean,
45
I was
and
the youngest,
46,
yeah.
If we were taking this to our consumerism and the way we live, what we would be doing is we'd be living like the Amish.
Well, we'd be living like the left wing nut jobs would really like us to live.
Yeah, on a farm.
Never
eating
mind the
bugs.
fact that they won't give up their stuff either.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, homemade clothes and all that. I mean, because no, your clothes are not made by union
No.
labor anymore. They're made in Bangladesh and Sri
Yes,
Lanka.
by
and
child labor
So
or enslaved labor.
Vietnam.
right.
So I'm sitting here reflecting on all of this. Where do we draw the line as being the
Moral?
quote? The quote was the morality of being able to say yes, I'll participate in this, or no, I
Mhm.
won't,
Right.
because of
Where are we walking the walk and not walking the walk?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's what it boils down to. You got to
Mhm.
do. You're either a good person in public or you're a good person in private. If you're a good person in private, you're almost always a good person in public.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep with our format. Let's have Brother Andre give us the quote again.
Yes.
We
Oh
always-
yes, we
we
did not
always
do that.
We always
Yes.
do that after bourbon breaks.
Mhm.
Let's refresh our brain. Let's recalibrate.
Yes.
Give us the full quote one more time.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stated,
Mhm.
"The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort,
Mhm.
but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy."
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think you could make an argument that how you act when you are in comfort, well, in certain cases. So, for instance, we
Yeah.
obviously live a very comfortable life.
Oh yeah.
And he's not necessarily, you can make the argument, I think, he's not necessarily saying that your measure is defined by how you consistently live those, so that you're living exactly the same in both cases, but how you respond to those negative times or those challenges.
Yeah.
So maybe the argument can be made that maybe it's not that the problem is not that how we don't follow it, like having an iPhone, but that when we are presented in our face with injustice, how do we respond to that?
Yes. Once we know.
But
Well,
even,
well,
you
it's,
know,
see, but we do know. See, that's
do know now.
but it's
I-
not
yeah.
in our face. There's nothing that you
Yes.
or I can do
You're right.
individually that will change. Although I gotta say, one of the things that
If we all stop buying it,
well,
A revolution starts with a single step.
it takes one man.
yeah.
Starts with what? Anyways,
Well, I
it's
mean,
my
you
favorite
know,
way to bring Trek into an episode.
If you vote for a guy that says tariffs will bring manufacturing back to our shores,
I was just going to say,
I mean,
for all of the
are you
bluster,
there?
since he started blustering about all that kind of stuff, there's been, I mean, that's when Apple started talking.
Yeah.
They started this in the original Trump administration,
Yes.
talking about the investment that they're making in the U.S. And
Mhm.
since he won the election in 2024, they have talked more about
Yeah.
actually bringing in, not even just investment, but
Right.
bringing
I mean,
actual iPhone manufacturing.
Right,
back to
and
the
lots
US.
of corporations have done that. This idea of
Now, partially
recreating-
that's a reaction to COVID as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and but it is to his bluster to some degree,
Mhm.
to the actual policies, to the tariffs.
Mhm.
They kind of they're reading the customer a little bit. The customer wants production of things back in the U.S.
Mhm.
Now, to throw out an argument on that state and to go on with Robert's statement, let's say that it's assembled in the U.S., but the mining is still done by children in
Oh, yeah.
Bangladesh.
Oh, it's
Are we
gonna-
still
yeah.
complicit
Well,
in
yes.
immorality?
Yes, we are. But
I think most church theologians would say yes, we are.
But-
So are we called to call it out and say we're going to give
Well-
up our iPhones?
Well, it goes back to. Sorry to interrupt you.
no,
as-
you're
as-
fine. You're not interrupting.
But I think it goes back to how the church talks about voting for politicians who are also pro-abortion.
You have to look at the whole.
Well, it's not necessarily that you have to, because again, that implies that, well,
Mhm.
because I like this policy, I don't care about those babies. It's more that I don't vote for the person because they are pro-abortion. I vote for the person despite the fact that they are pro-abortion, because I want them to do these other things.
Mhm.
Now you can make an argument both ways on that, and the church recognizes that. It's one of those things the church says, look,
Both and.
well, it's a both and, not an either or, but it's also, it's not moral gymnastics. It's not. That's not
Mhm.
what the church is saying. But it's saying that if you are doing something for the good that it provides,
Mhm.
then you are not as morally complicit as you might be if you were doing it. If you were, for instance, voting for somebody, this person wants to expand abortion to be,
Mhm.
9 months past birth, not, because there have been politicians who promoted that, not 9 months, but,
So voting for the lesser of two evils.
well, it's
In
no,
that case,
because
you vote.
because the implication is you're voting for something positive, that the politician is
Mhm.
for,
Okay.
as opposed to, I'm going to do that despite the fact that they're for this, but my primary reason is this.
Mhm.
And there may be many reasons. One, maybe they're going to you're voting for somebody who's going to be in the House, and the House has almost no say
Yeah.
over that. Senate, yeah, because they can
Mhm.
approve Supreme Court justices and other federal judges. So maybe there are other reasons.
So could I change the direction on this a little bit? though?
Sure, yeah.
So I think that there's a piece of this that we're not touched on, and that's more the idea of a personal challenge. How you behave during a personal challenge.
Yeah.
I was going to end with that. Go ahead.
Ooh, good.
Well, see, so we're brain waving. So, right. I mean, I think that is also,
You missed the break
What-
dancing.
yeah, what is the overcoming a personal challenge and how you respond to a personal setback. We've taken this meta or
Yeah.
global or
Yeah.
whatever term you like,
Let's take it micro.
but exactly take it back to micro, take it back to personals, and take it back to
How do you treat the waitress?
Yeah.
the little things. The
That
little
or,
things.
are you going to be throwing a wrench?
Are you at least
Uh,
are you decent to people who
yeah.
do small things?
Hold the damn light still.
You know,
Okay, Dad.
you,
like
you were around that, so
Yeah.
you know.
you know,
Yeah, my dad was a mechanic. Yeah, I get
I,
that. yeah.
I'm terrible at small talk, so I often don't say a lot to people who are in and out of offices and the
Mhm.
cleaning staff. It's not because I think I'm better than them. I don't know what to say.
Well, a lot
But
of small
I do
talk,
try
because
to
I
at
get that.
least say- I at least
Small
try to
talk
say,
seems pointless.
yeah. I mean, hello,
me.
thank
Mm.
you. I mean, it might not
Yes.
be the same person the next day, so I'm not necessarily going to be building this rapport.
Oh, you do great in the Netherlands.
But I do try to at least be pleasant to the person who comes in and empties the trash in my office.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things that
And,
it's
and,
not.
and you do get a sense of what someone's like if they
Mhm.
are not at least pleasant to people who do small things for them.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed myself becoming more aware of, as opposed to more intentional about,
Yeah,
is something very similar.
yeah,
One of the big things about in social consciousness circles is language like being seen.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So, which I'll grant you is a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not denigrating that, but I've noticed that my nature is, yes, to do exactly what you're talking about. So, like when I'm in line at the store and somebody helps me, I am always very pleasant. Very, I say thank you, and I don't say thanks. I say it with feeling,
Sincerely.
sincerely, yes. And it is that the whole thing about being seen, comes to my mind when I do it with people who are not like me.
Yeah.
And
Well-
not because I'm doing it because they're either black or Hispanic or whatever, or flamboyantly gay or whatever, or obviously
I mean,
trans or anything like that.
yeah,
I don't care. You're doing something for me.
I do.
I am properly grateful for
I
that.
want them to know I appreciate it and that they are seen.
Well,
Yeah,
You're right.
but
You're right.
because of what they are, not specifically
Mhm.
where they put their genitals
Now, hold
or
on.
anything or anything like
What
that.
is your tag phrase?
yeah.
The inherent
Respect for the inherent dignity of the human person. Yes.
bingo. That's what you're hitting
Now-
on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, I'll give an example from my life. Okay. We
Hold that. Is this a hold that thought?
no,
moment?
it's
Okay,
not.
okay,
It's
okay.
actually
Yeah, get ready with the button.
my wife and I were with our granddaughter driving through downtown Louisville, and we stopped at an intersection, and it was 2nd Street, and they've got that median there, and there was a guy.
Yeah, close to Maine.
Yeah, there was a guy in the median holding a sign, asking for money for food, and our granddaughter asked, "What is?" Because at the time she couldn't read. What does his sign say? And we said he's asking for money for food. And her initial response was, "Well, are we going to give him some?"
Yes.
And at the time, we didn't have any cash on us. It was legit. We don't have any cash. And her response was, "Then
Go get
can
some
we go get some and come back?"
from the mouths of babes.
Exactly. And that was probably 6 years ago. I still feel guilty about that.
Yeah. Well, one of the
And I
things
should.
that especially as deacons who are, again, supposed to serve the poor,
Mm-hmm.
that's a I understand exactly what you're saying, because on the one hand, statistically speaking, the majority of the people who are standing there asking for money for food,
Don't need it.
well, they're asking for money for alcohol.
Yeah.
Possibly, or drugs.
Again,
Who knows
drugs,
what?
whatever. Statistically, I'm not saying that sometimes that money won't be used for food, or that even in that particular case it won't be for food.
Yeah.
My pastor, he tries not to carry cash at all. One, so that he doesn't have the excuse of, "Oh, I don't have cash," or that I have cash but I don't want to give it to you.
Yeah.
But that if you say you want food and you approach him,
Mm-hmm.
he will go to McDonald's and buy you food.
Yep.
And if you say you don't want it, well, then you were
Yeah,
lying to him to
exactly.
begin with.
Will it really be McDonald's? Most likely it'll be White Castle.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's close.
Yeah.
But the point is, though, if he encounters somebody who says he wants food,
Mm-hmm.
then he will buy you food.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not enable your addiction.
But not enable your addiction,
Mhm.
or potentially, because again,
Yes.
he's not,
You don't know.
because you don't know. It's like when, and I've had this happen to me. Somebody wanting money for gas
Mhm.
at a gas station.
I'll
All
buy
right.
you gas.
I was like, all right, well, let's pull up to the pump, and I will put the $5 you have asked for in your tank. And he's like, well, no, I want the cash.
Can't do that.
Yeah, and that's not to be mean or to not deny people's needs,
Mhm.
but if you ask for something and I'm willing to give you the something you say you need,
Yeah.
but then you deny it,
Give it.
then I feel like I am enabling, and at that point, I am doing you a disservice
instead of serving the
Yes.
poor.
instead of serving the poor.
Mhm.
but now, of
I've been
cour-
there many times.
But on the other hand, if you do have cash and you ignore the guy sitting at the end of the off ramp of the expressway, because that's where I encounter him mostly.
Mhm.
When you get off 264 onto 3rd Street,
Yeah.
there's always somebody there.
Now, here's something I will challenge everyone to do. When dealing with the homeless or someone at the end of the ramp, if you have no intention of giving them money, roll down your window and say, hey, what's your name? My name's Jeff. Jeff, don't have anything to give you today, but I just wanted to say hi. Because you're recognizing their inherent dignity as a
Inherent, yeah.
person.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, that's that being seen
Yes.
thing.
Mhm.
And I'll grant you, I need to do better.
Everybody gets fascinated to the radio to the right when there's a homeless person with a sign out to the left.
It's amazing how the part of the car that comes from the roof down, where the
Yeah.
basically
Mhm.
frames the windshield, manages to hide that homeless person perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
That or you're staring straight ahead at the light, and you keep staring at the light.
Well, also your experiences reflect and influence your response.
Yes.
They do.
Because
yes.
there used to be a guy
Mhm.
at my building I worked at 30 years ago. He would prowl around the front of that building on Chestnut Street, but he would tell the same story over and over.
Right.
So when he asked for money, it was always, I got to get my tire fixed. I've got a flat.
I was like,
Mhm.
dude, you haven't gotten that tire fixed yet.
Right,
It's been
and then-
3 years.
Right. And
I'm
then
giving you $300.
he wouldn't recognize you, and ask you for the same thing. It's like, dude, you asked me that 3 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
you're
Blow his mind and say, hey, Jeff, how you doing?
yeah. And so you gets your skepticism gets colored with this. Again,
Which is both understandable and a sad.
I mentioned the one guy that holds up a sign in Fern Creek with his Twitter handle on it. It's like,
Is it his Twitter handle or is that his Venmo? Because Venmo's the same thing as an at whatever.
yeah, it might have been. It might have been. And it's just like,
I saw a guy in New Orleans a couple years ago said, I'm not homeless. I just want beer. I gave the guy $5.
Just for the honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, beer is food, right?
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just, it's
I'm
just,
I'm married. I need alcohol.
Yeah. Here's 10.
Or the guy that's standing outside of Target. And I'm not homeless, but my wife's in Target.
Yep.
It's like, dude, yeah, come on, let's go get a drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's very difficult when you have that experience of you don't take people at face value.
Yeah.
That's a
They-
great point.
They've kind of screwed it up for everybody that might actually be in need.
Yeah.
That's it reminds me of how I view decision fatigue. We've talked
Yeah.
about this before.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
One of the things that makes it so difficult to write after work is because you're mentally exhausted from solving problems all day long.
Mhm.
Just trying to survive the commute home. From,
Right. And
know.
sometimes because you have been inundated with these requests that may or may not be sincere.
Mhm.
Oh, they are sincere. They want your money.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
for the purpose that
Yeah.
they state.
Yeah.
Maybe that everybody you've encountered that day or that week really did want to buy food, or maybe there's some cause that really needs
Yeah.
national or even global attention.
Mhm.
But maybe Greta Thunberg is not the best spokesperson
There
for
are
that.
starting to be signs downtown that
Mhm.
say, if you want to do something, don't do the handouts. Give to a charity.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Go work at the food kitchen.
That or
We do that once a month. Actually, I should be there today, but
That
this
or
is the only day we
let's-
could record.
Let's take that skid steer and just level all their crap and throw it in a dumpster and run them out of town.
Yeah, well, there is that.
That's
Honestly,
usually the first week of May.
yeah, exactly. But you know what? Well, actually, a couple of weeks, because sometimes people come in early and they
Yeah.
for thunder and what have you,
They
stay
want,
the
they
whole
want
time.
it for
Yeah.
Derby
So,
week.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta clean the place up in April.
Yeah, but you know that's a great example though of something that we probably should speak out against, and I think we all have denigrated those sorts of actions. Not that we've necessarily done anything about it, but we also recognize we're probably not going to change that either. That's the other thing about this. One, it's the proximity that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where do we put our effort? Something we can change, or something we know that our
Yeah.
particular.
Well,
That's why I say there's a lot of gray
you kind of
in the actual execution of it.
yeah you pick your poison to a degree as well. I mean, we'll go, oh yeah, of course they're cleaning them up now. It's April. We're 2 weeks from Derby, but at the same time, a lot of these encampments or building takeovers and things like that
They have
are
problems.
very, very dangerous.
Yes.
We saw this in California a few years ago where they had like some kind of artist commune where they had like sort of taken over a building that was condemned and people were living in it, and they sort of the city turned a blind eye.
Yeah, there was a fire.
And then it caught fire and killed them all.
Was that San Francisco by any chance? Because it sounds like
Yes.
something. San
Oh yes,
Francisco.
it was Oakland. It was Oakland. I think.
Oakland. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean that's we see the cops storming into a building and pulling all the homeless that are trying to take over an abandoned
Squat.
building and squatters. But if we didn't do that, then 2 weeks later when the place burns down and they're all dead, then we're
Why weren't the police in there?
yeah, why didn't we do something about this?
It's a
Why do
condemned
we-
building. You shouldn't let people live in a condemned building.
Yeah, and so it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing.
Mhm.
The optics are horrible no matter what you do.
Well, and
But on the front end, yes, you got to kind of do it.
You
got to
do.
get them out. You can't let them have these camps. This is a fire hazard. I've seen where they've started fires on the expressway ramps. I mean, I'm downtown every day for 38 years. I've seen the fires still smoldering at 7:45 a.m. on the grassy side of the on ramps and the off ramps downtown. It's like, this is dangerous. We can't have this.
so, and this goes to I think maybe some of that. What do we do when we are confronted with challenges?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we cannot say to people who are living on the streets, not with any realistic expectation of them doing what we're saying, and say, well, you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get a job, and
Yep.
because if
And it-
you're on the streets, you are probably now not all.
Not
Because
always.
I have seen people come to the soup kitchen that are only there temporarily. I've seen some families come in.
Mhm.
It's because I know that they're in a tough time.
Yeah.
But I do see people who are there every single week, month after month, year after year.
Mhm.
So there are some people who are transitionally
Mhm.
homeless, but there are some people who are
The long term.
systemically homeless.
We
So-
tend to treat this as a single issue, but homelessness is really very
Unless we're willing to,
complex.
unless
Yeah.
we are
It's very-
willing to
yeah.
do two things.
Verse.
We have to provide for those who do want out of it,
Mhm.
but then also we have to force those who don't want anything to do with our solutions into an institution.
right. I mean, 'cause
And-
you have the mentally ill.
Yeah.
We turn them out in the 70s.
Yes.
Or just
we used
those
to, we
who
used to have
are
long-term care, and after Ken Kesey and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, we decided long-term institutions were a horrible thing,
Mhm.
so we kicked all of them out. and now
rather
they're
than
out-
reforming the institutions.
right now
Yeah.
they're out on the street.
Yeah.
Then you have again
Mhm.
the addiction issues.
Yeah.
They're out there, but then you also have a size of the population
Mhm.
that want to be there.
Yeah.
This was in the local news a couple of years ago. They interviewed people in one of the camps that was being broken up, and they're like, yeah, we get a check. We could have an apartment. We just don't want the responsibility. So there is a
Well,
subsection
yeah.
that just are,
It's
we
not-
don't,
yeah.
we don't want to pay bills. We don't want to pay taxes.
Honestly, that is appealing.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like,
hard to
well,
Other
yeah,
than the fact I
it's
don't
like-
want to live in Liberty Park across
Right,
from the
that-
cathedral.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, to us, we're like,
Exactly.
well, we don't want to shit in the woods and live in a tent. So yeah, we're going to accept the idea of we have to pay
Well,
bills and pay our expenses.
I shit in the woods and live in a house.
I've seen your house. It's probably better to shit in the woods.
Yeah, okay,
Are
yeah.
you a bear?
Nobody is Catholic.
I'm Catholic,
yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, you have to account for all of these
Yes.
pieces, and that's what makes that again that personal action,
And-
that personal decision at that point of that guy standing at the end
Yes.
of the ramp. It's like I can't take what he is at face value. That guy might be turning in. He might be collecting 60,
100 grand a
70
year.
bucks. Yeah, I mean this guy might be pulling in 40 grand tax free, and by choice.
That's low.
Well, yeah, I mean who knows?
Potentially.
Who
Well, you
knows?
know, when we went to Rome, our guide told us, "Look, do not give money to the gypsies and all the others that are,
Mhm.
begging, because it's a racket. I mean, literally, it's a racket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's organized. They make way more money. So
And-
my pastor, somebody came and said, I need money for lunch. So Father bought them literally a big Italian sub,
Yeah.
as a big old sandwich, and they sat there and ate it quite happily, because honestly, they probably weren't going to get lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
So because they were probably they were probably being exploited as it was.
Yeah.
But they weren't going to be keeping any of the money that they were being.
Well, they get a small cut of the money.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
that happens here.
Yeah.
it does.
Because,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Well,
if-
but,
If you notice where the people are begging, you go to Costco out on Brownsboro Lane,
mhm.
and at every intersection around that, there's people
Mhm.
begging,
Yeah.
and those are organized beggars.
Well, I mean, one of the things that got to me, because I was volunteering a lot at the soup kitchen a couple of years back, like
Which
every
one?
day. What is that one?
St. Vincent de Paul, the cathedral.
I think
Franciscan?
It was St. Vincent de Paul. I
Okay.
think. And
Over on Jackson.
yeah, that one. And the thing that struck me was the people that were coming in to volunteer there. Not all of them, but some of them. And the one that really pissed me off was it was a family that came in. And what they were doing was they were there to just serve the food. And instead, they did that. They served the food, but they were also taking pictures with their arms around the homeless people,
Oh, for
doing
Instagram.
selfies for Instagram.
A
or
little,
what
yeah, a
have
little
you.
virtue signaling.
And
never-
it's like,
Yep.
and I saw so much of that.
yeah, real charity should be anonymous.
Yes.
Yeah.
As Jesus said, don't let your left hand know what your right is doing.
Yeah.
It's almost
and,
like there's wisdom there.
and I was
Little bit.
I
Little
was just so disgusted by the fact that they were using these people as props for their virtue.
Yeah, that is a great example of, one, disrespecting
Yeah.
the inherent dignity of a human person,
Oh yeah.
but that is also a great example of people who don't think other people are real.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
only have value as it relates to my
Me.
purpose.
Yes. Me and how I look.
Yep. And that, and honestly, I think from the side of the political spectrum that we have traditionally spent
Mhm.
our time on, that's one of the things that annoys us the most about the other side, is that
Mhm.
a lot of what they are about is the virtue signaling.
Kneeling in the
Not
Capitol.
Not all of them. Don't get me wrong. Not all.
No,
of
Yeah,
them.
I mean, kneeling in the Capitol accomplished nothing.
Well, kneeling on the sideline by Kaepernick accomplished nothing.
Accomplished nothing.
On the other hand, you can make the argument. Well, he did
uh,
call attention to whatever he was
yeah.
kneeling about,
draws attention and
but
Yeah.
they always end up making it about themselves.
Yes.
and
And not the issue.
not the issue.
Yeah.
And that's when or at least that's when, at least to me, I strongly suspect that you really didn't care about the issue.
Mhm.
You were just trying to save your flagging pro career, because
Mhm.
he wasn't that great of a quarterback to begin with. So,
No.
but it's a great point though, Martin. What we do in private, it is important, but
Mhm.
also how we deal with the
yeah,
in your face stuff, I think, is
even on
Yeah.
the
more
on a
important.
large scale. If you give money to a university, do you give it to have your name on a building, or do you give it to make sure students' tuition's paid?
Right.
You
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 know.
can do one without the other.
Exactly.
Or are you
Damn.
giving it to their sports program?
Well, their
It's-
sports programs have nothing to do with the university.
Oh, I know that, but it
Yeah,
just-
I mean, NIL isn't exactly a charity to the
Yeah, I
you
know.
the
Yeah.
educational institution.
No, seriously.
Oh, I know. They're separate
The
things.
coaches, when they get paid, they're not paid by the university. They're paid by the sports foundation.
Yeah.
So
Or by the state if it's a public school.
No.
no, they're paid by the sports,
Yeah.
the separate sports entity. Like I don't know who the current who are the coaches for U of L right now.
Oh.
I don't know.
But
Well, Brom and Will Stein is now the coach. At
I bet if I
UVA.
looked at their paychecks, it's not from the University of Louisville. It's from the University of Louisville Sports Foundation,
Yeah.
which is totally
Completely
separate. from-
entity.
Well, is it a separate legal entity, or does the university actually have? Because the university is the one who does the hiring and firing, so the university's got to have some influence.
yeah, it's
a state
it's a
paycheck.
legally separate entity, but it has a memorandum of understanding with the university.
See, to me, that
I
where
agree.
where the money comes from
I agree.
is it's not immaterial, but they're still state employee. They're considered state employees.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of places make more than a governor. The
Oh,
highest,
absolutely.
The highest, the
without a
highest paid
doubt.
state employee in
It's always-
Louisiana is the head coach at Louisiana State.
Well,
Well, almost every state.
every state.
yeah,
It's some sports programs coach.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, looking at the time, it's probably time.
Yeah,
for
We are
us to wrap.
140. This is
I'm hungry.
and we could really keep going on this. This has been a great.
This has
we-
been a
we-
wonderful,
We
wonderful.
have really hit a lot of
discussion.
topics. I
Uh,
really like this
in
one.
closing, I want to challenge each of us, both of those in the room and those that might listen to my voice,
Mhm.
to in your life, when it is not comfortable, I want you to take a stand for something that is right.
Mhm.
Stick by a commitment even when it's challenging.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you know,
Please.
if you when you violate your values, because that's really what we're talking about. The values live. What is most
Mhm.
important to you is another way to put it. When you violate those values, you, if they're truly what you hold to be true, it should make you uncomfortable,
Mhm.
And I hope it does.
and I hope it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why it's so good to have Brother Andre in my life.
Mhm.
It makes me think.
And I'm not going to follow up and ask you if you did it. I'm just going to assume you did.
Well, and that's the thing about being Catholic. One last thing here. You had said something about presuming whether or not the person who's asking for the money actually need it or whatever.
Taking them on face value.
Yeah, exactly. That's what taking them at face value.
Stop rubbing your cord.
Um,
Yeah.
um, anyways,
We got a stroker.
Hold that thought.
hold that. Actually, just set that thought aside. Don't hold
Don't
anything.
even hold it.
Just set that thought aside. Don't hold it. Don't
Keep
touch
your
it.
hands
Don't-
to yourself. Leave it alone.
hold your hands in the air. Hand check. As Catholics, my pastor's pointed this out many times. He's a canon lawyer, but he's also a pretty damn good moral theologian.
Yeah.
Is that really we're supposed to take people at face value?
Mhm.
If they say X, we are supposed to presume that they're not
Yeah.
lying.
Mhm.
That's an act of charity on our part.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really big charity. I'll grant
Yeah,
you.
trust and charity. Yeah.
But it's also
Believing the best in people. Yeah.
it's believing the best. It's also part of the respecting them because to presume at first glance that somebody's a liar.
I mean,
that's
right,
that's
you're
a
right.
lack of respect.
Assumes they're a politician.
Yeah.
You're
Unless they're a
respect-
politician.
You're
yeah.
respecting.
Which
their
is- wait,
faith.
is that what you said? Unless they're a politician?
Yeah, unless
yeah.
they're-
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, then they're
Yeah,
lying.
unless they're a politician. Yeah,
But I-
absolutely.
If they're a
lying.
politician, they're lying.
I
yes.
can also say
Isn't that a
this,
definition?
though.
Liar, politician, same thing.
If you've got a friend or a relative that's asking you for money and it's in $40 increments, it's for drugs.
Right. So-
Yeah, my naive TV is coming through here. I didn't know. that.
Almost all drug transactions are $40.
I
$40.
thought it was nickel
increments.
bag, dime bag.
No,
no,
not
that
anymore.
that inflation is there's no
Yeah.
such thing. Yeah, a nickel bag is like $40 now.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
$40.
Excuse my ignorance.
Yeah. Or nickel and dime bag used to be you got either 5 joints or 10 joints because it was a
Yeah.
dollar a joint back then. Yeah, it's not so much true anymore.
No.
So, and
But
this
it-
is my
but it-
understanding. I
well,
don't know
but-
personally.
but if you
You're
if you-
getting what you pay for now, from
Yeah.
my understanding.
That's
But if
true.
if you-
It's far more potent than it
Yeah,
used
it's
to
good
be.
stuff.
But
It's
if
not
you
just
if you drive up to Michigan,
stems and
if
seeds.
you are the first 300 people and a new customer at one of the
Dispensaries.
dispensaries up there, you can get an ounce for a penny.
Damn.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? Weed is in ounces, but Coke is in grams.
Yeah.
Because
See-
they embrace the
Heroin.
metric system.
That's why
20
that's why cocaine is evil.
28
They've embraced the metric system.
28 grams to the ounce.
It's still evil. I'm just saying. If you embrace the metric system, you're evil.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the takeaway, wasn't it?
Okay, you've spoiled my great ending.
Oh, I'm
But-
sorry.
Sorry. Go for it.
No, I've challenged everyone to do what is hard.
Yes.
And
Yes. And we blew off onto a rabbit.
you
Yeah.
did.
Well,
be moral even in
Yes.
personally challenging times.
Yeah.
paraphrase Kennedy, we do the thing not because it is easy,
Mm.
but because it is hard.
Yes. And he did Marilyn Monroe.
All right. So Francis isn't here.
So what's next?
So I have no idea what's next.
Well,
but
Oh, I can tell you what's next.
Aren't we gonna talk
Napoleon
about-
Part
Or-
2?
We're going to do the apex and decline of Napoleon.
Napoleon.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that
Wherein
sounds good.
Robert is going to challenge Francis to prove that everything that happened after 1815 is all Napoleon's fault.
Mm-hmm.
That's my plan.
All
I may
right.
actually have to do some homework on this one.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
I don't
study-
believe you.
You're gonna have to research.
You're gonna have to study the Congress of Vienna, because they were gonna put France through the ringer, and Talleyrand rescued it. So
Okay.
that might be your point of friction with Francis.
Okay.
It's Talleyrand versus.
I'm willing to go to a certain
Napoleon.
point. But after a certain point, I think there's too many variables. Is where I
Okay.
go.
Here's the question. You think Francis is actually going to listen to this episode?
Oh, eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, Francis, if you listen to this, I want you to start the next episode with the word Telluride.
Go for it.
Why?
He said Talleyrand, didn't you?
Yeah.
Talleyrand.
Telluride is in Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's just testing. To
Just see if he listens.
see-
Oh,
see if
oh,
he
I see. Yes, I see. Presuming he can listen before we get back together.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Okay.
This is
yeah,
true.
All right.
Well, he has access to the recordings.
Well, he does, but I'm way behind. I mean,
Yeah.
I try to listen, but honestly, sometimes I listen to the shows and I'm like, you think, oh, I would say this, and like, oh, I did say that. And then other times, it's like, I've already heard all this.
You're
skip.
predictable if nothing else.
Well,
Know thyself.
know thyself. Yes.
Know thyself, Socrates.
All
All
right.
right. Next time, listeners.
Same bat channel, same bat time.
We hope you enjoyed another pointless discussion of eternal questions. Remember, new episodes drop every second and fourth Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern, just in time for your morning commute. And every fifth Friday, we drop a special Hoopajube episode. Spread the word we are on all the major platforms, and leave us a review. That helps others find us. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as our website, snakesandotters.com. Join us next time, same snake time, same otter channel.